What's going on, everybody? It's your boy JT, and we are back to the Crypto Den. I want to thank you all for tuning in. I got another exciting topic, as it always is here in the Crypto Den. It is about crypto white papers and how I, a hedge fund manager, like to analyze them. It's a super cool tool. This did not exist, a year ago. It's been immensely helpful to me in what I do over at Bleeding Edge Capital, which is a crypto hedge fund out of Cincinnati, Ohio. It is a research driven, ground up approach to crypto, leveraging my 10 plus years of software development experience. So, what I like to do is analyze the software, which is crypto. Crypto is software, it's a software business. When you buy a token, it's like you're buying equity in an actual software. You could think of it that way. So, I want to make sure that the networks and the communities and the token and all that stuff are things that I believe will be here, one, for a long time, and two, things that are actually valuable to developers to help drive adoption of blockchain. If on chain activity goes up, so too does my portfolio. And that's the general idea. But I've learned some unique and special skills, and it's not that special, which is really cool. It's definitely something you all could do. And, you know, it it basically democratizes my skill set of being able to look at these networks and have good conversations about them. So, with that, I'm going to take you over to the screen here. I'm going to show you an exact use case I ran for you guys before this video to make sure that it worked and, this white paper was able to be loaded and all that stuff. So, first thing, when you're researching, okay, when you're researching a project or a name you see in a tweet or something, you want to go to CoinMarketCap. That is like Yahoo Finance, okay? So over on CoinMarketCap, you're going to have essentially all of the information for a project. Now, this is one of my favorite projects. I really do enjoy Hedera. I did very well. I was buying personally, I was buying down through here. My fund doesn't have access to this token, unfortunately, but I think my entry was around 5 cents. So I'm feeling very good about my Hedera in general. But when you're on Coin Market Cap, right, you can see all these links here, which is why I recommend Coin Market Cap. Their Twitter, their Reddit, GitHub, you can find anything. Today, we're just talking about the white paper. So what I did is I clicked white paper, expert, full white paper. That brought me to this, right? And then when you click this, that brought me here. Now this is a very dense, it's 94 pages, right? Look at this thing. This is a white paper. Now, in my software background and experience, this is documentation that I would write. So, like, white papers are my bread and butter. Designing systems, analyzing systems, all of that stuff is like my background. But even for someone like me, this is a lot to understand. This is a lot to go through. And I used to have to read these by hand, manually go through and get a very good idea on the system. Well, now we have this docanalyzer.ai tool. Okay. So what I did is, let me see if here we go. So I clicked add. I downloaded this thing right here, clicked add, put it in there, started this chat, and then just asked it its first question about the architecture of Hedera. That was it. And it read the entire white paper. It read all of it. And then you can have a full blown conversation, unlimited amount of conversation about that document. And not only will it answer based on the document, it'll also link the references. Pretty cool, right? So this is where you could start to understand what a system is without having to go through all the tenuous reading and all that other stuff. And it's pretty impressive what it can do, right? So the content may still be a little too technical for you. But you can ask things that might, okay, so like, we'll just run that question, right? That's important to know. Can they make more of it? Can they not? So you can do this continuously, right? That's why I like this. You can literally just ask it questions about the white paper. So this is a hedge fund manager that does this at an expert level, okay? And is telling you that I use AI to save me hundreds, if not 1,000 hours a year from reading these white papers because it's super important to read these. Like, if you're basically saying, I think this is going to be here a long time as a fund manager, and you want to put investors' retirement dollars into this risky of an asset class, saying it's going to be here for 5 years, you're going to want to understand everything about it. No different than how Warren Buffett does it with businesses. And these white papers have the entire guts of the system just laid out for computer science people to be shocked and awed by the solution. This is the CTO's like ego and the best information possible forward with roadmaps and specific things that could have, bottlenecks in the system that would reduce its performance and all this other stuff. Or you find something like this that with the more nodes, the more computers, the more TPS, the faster the system gets, which is why I really like Hedera. The Gossip Network consensus model is super unique. They have a patent on it too. So, in general, white papers are like, if you're building a house, you could think of them as the blueprints, right? Like, here's the living room, this is the square footage, these are the materials we're going to use, here's our 3D model. The charts could be like that, or, little pictures they draw to try to explain the relationship between their design and the effectiveness or the outcome. All of that is in the white paper, and all of it is difficult to read in a timely manner and comprehend the value proposition of this system. Where if you have that doc analyzer tool, you can ask anything you want of it. You could even go to AI, right? Go to ChatGPT, ask it the top 25 questions, that you would ask to analyze a network. Then you can copy and paste question by question into this doc analyzer tool, right? And you could ask for it to break it down into like a sixth grader's term of understanding, right? And then you would be able to get all that information distilled down to something you can digest and make good, intelligent decisions on. Pretty easy, right? It's not as intimidating as you would have thought even a year ago. A year ago, it would have been, you would need a decade of software experience to know what the hell those things even say. So with that, that's what a white paper is. That's how I, a hedge fund manager, use AI to make that process so much easier. And that little ChatGPT tip can help even the beginner start to understand what these systems are. All right. Hopefully it was helpful. Take care of one another. And until next time, peace and love. I'll see you.